Hey there, it's Jeremy with the Level Designer, and I'm here with my video for today, and we're gonna start off on a clean slate. Last week we worked with Unity, and we made an open world game level area for kind of the theme of Viking zombies, and I really liked how that turned out. I really liked working with the terrain and kind of the different aspects of open world design and giving you kind of a window in how to make worlds that work with that sort of design and whatnot. So it's the 10th, so we're going to be working on a new level project. And for this next week, we are going to be working in Unreal Engine. And we are going to be making a first person shooter. And the theme is trick or treating. Or more, I have on here trick or treating, shooting kids with candy, which is going to be technically right. But yeah, we're going to be making a first person shooter, and I kind of have a project set up right now. So, right here is going to be kind of the first person template, and it's really easy to get into one of these. Basically, when you start up Unreal Engine, you can select a specific template that just opens up, and you have the option of starting straight from scratch, or you can just put in a template to kind of get a working game going. So that's what I did right here, and I did a few tweaks. So let me just show you what I have done already to kind of prep for this project. So you can see I have a Halloween bucket right here. I am using kind of to give you the sense that you know you're like a kid trick-or-treating, and also I replaced the projectile. Usually it's like a yellow projectile. I replaced it with like this cool like little candy piece that is just kind of something that I quickly made in Blender, and I imported it via FXB or FBX or something. I think it's FBX, and I replaced the loud like sound with a more of a whoosh to make it kind of feel like you're more throwing the piece of candy other than just shooting it. So this is kind of the start of what I wanted to do. I wanted to really play with the idea that we're just a kid out trick-or-treating, and I really like this. I think this is just really cool. And I can kind of show you what this looks like too in Blender. So this is like the piece of candy that I made, and it's just a very simple low poly, just shape that I made, and then I went in and I textured it and I did some Photoshop work. So that's looking really great. And then open. I want to show you the Halloween bucket of candy, or yeah, the pumpkin bucket that I called it. Oh, my nose is kind of stuffy today. Blend? I think it's right here. Yes. So I did the same thing with this Halloween bucket. I just made like a very plain cylinder, and I made a few edge loops and I expanded it, and just put some textures on it, and it looks like a Halloween bucket. So it's looking pretty nifty. So that's kind of what I did in here, and I'm not going to go really into Blender, but I wanted to kind of show you an example of what I did. I'm also going to save this because I think this is a good place to make sure that things are saved and we don't lose our progress. But right here, we're going to be working with this. So yeah, we kind of have this starting area going. So let's talk about multiplayer maps, especially first person ones. I'm gonna go and open up a new tab over here, and I'm just going to bring up multiplayer maps. And again, um, this is something that when you're making a multiplayer game, you'll have, you know, concept artists and and whatnot, you know, drawing out the look of a map. So you might get something that's more kind of like painted or artwork wise, and it's like, okay, make this into a level. So kind of the thing to think about is multiplayer maps are a lot more simple in design and have usually a very simple layout. A lot of good maps, you know, it's kind of hard to pretty much nail, because a good multiplayer map has symmetry, but it also has some randomness too. And a good example of this is I want to say it's Dust 2 from uh, God, was it Counter-Strike? So if you have ever played a game on this map, you know that there is some symmetry to the map, but it's different in a way where it doesn't feel repetitive, and it's a reason why it's probably the most played map on Counter Strike, and I would argue. Just in general, first-person shooter games. It's a map that a lot of people know, and a map that a lot of people are very familiar with. Yet every time you play it, it doesn't feel like you've played it over and over and over again. It is such a well laid out map that it makes sense, but it keeps kind of, you know, each time you play it, it kind of you get refreshed to kind of the nuances of, you know, where everything is, and it's just a good example of a map that does everything right. So you know, it has some symmetry, but it has little quirks in that symmetry that makes it feel different and not repetitive. So kind of with that in mind, we want to kind of keep that in mind. So right now we are just this kid basically that is trick-or-treating. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out fresh. I'm going to delete these walls. I'm going to get rid of these blocks. And all of these cubes I'm going to get rid of. And I'm going to get rid of this label right here because I don't really care for it. So, we have a floor right here, and then we also have some post-processing boxes and whatnot. And these I might actually scale out. So if we scale it this way, we can really scale this out to be a good size. Let's just have this be 50. And then we can scale this out and have that be 50. I mean, that's going to be kind of out of the way, and maybe we don't need to make this as big as that. And these are kind of different numbers too, so with this, we might go out to 200. That's fine. I don't know. Maybe we could move this in a bit. Maybe 20. So it's not like completely out of the way, but yeah, I don't know. It's 15. 15. I think that's fine. And then there's probably some bake settings that we have too. But yeah, I want to go and expand this floor. So we're just gonna go in here and we're gonna really just expand this. Excuse me. I'm sorry if I get sneezing. So right now we have a good floor going. I might want to expand this a little bit more. I just start with a good kind of starting point. So what I'm gonna do is for this level, I'm going to make a neighborhood, of course. And I want to try to make it interesting. I want to make it, you know, have some symmetry, but I want it to be a little bit different. And I want to make everything kind of to scale. So, kind of by default, we are gonna be like a kid, basically. So I want to try to keep in mind the scale of a kid versus an adult. I think that's going to be important to kind of, I think that's going to be kind of important keeping with, you know, the scale and everything. But we don't want to make things seem too big, if that makes sense. But we're going to just try to lay out like a neighborhood. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into modes. I'm going to hit brush editing. And then from there, I'm going to go into geometry. And what this should allow me to do is this should allow me to place different boxes. And these boxes I'll be able to manipulate, kind of like a Pro Builder a bit. But these tools are actually used within Unreal Engine. So this isn't something that you have to like download extra. This is something that you can out of the box play with in Unreal, and that is something that I absolutely like. And then over here there should be some other kind of things that you can use, some other options. So if I select the object here and I scale this up, I can scale it up, but I can also you know, move these and really manipulate the size of them. I can move this out here. Move this out here. Move this out here. And a cool aspect of this is you can actually add in additive and subtractive blocks. So if we wanted to create the inside of a house, how I usually do it, and there's a way you could do this. I'll have to remind myself like how you can hollow out a box. I know there's a set way to like hollow out a box, but I usually don't do that. I've learned that it's really easy to go in and like you can add a box here, And then on the kind of the settings here, if you switch additive to subtractive, it'll add a subtractive element to this box, and you can actually go in and you can like size this out, and you can really make like the inside of a building or something, and you can go in here and you can kind of have to go inside a bit to select a thing like that, but you can go in and really play around with the shapes and whatnot. And this is what I did with my World War II stealth game. When I was blocking things out, I'd go in there and I would make sure that everything is looking good. And then you also have this texture of squares and whatnot. And these aren't supposed to stretch. I know that there's a way to make everything cohesive and coherent. I have to maybe remind myself later how I fix that. But we can kind of go through and play around with the scale of this. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get rid of this box and just play around with this. So I want to kind of get the size good for a house and make it kind of big to where you kind of feel like a kid. And what I was thinking about doing is originally I was going to try to make just the camera on the character blueprint, like I was gonna try to move this camera down and have it like a half size, but I think it'd be much easier just to scale the world up with the character to make it seem like a kid. And once you establish that scale of everything being a little bit more bigger, I think that works. I really think that that's fine. So this is kind of a good, it's kind of maybe a pretty good thing. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to select this face and I'm going to go all the way down here. And I'm going to extrude this. What? Okay, so I did extrude it. I was like, why is that not... Oh, shoot. So what happened was it was on extrude and I should have went back to edit. So I'm gonna just do that here. And then what I'm gonna do as well is I'm gonna go to like I'm just gonna look up a house and just get a good sense of what we could do with these geometry tools to just kind of block out something that we can kind of get a good sense of what we can use for this. So I think this is a good kind of example of kind of a starting point. And so I think with this we can kind of play around with just the general shapes. So right now I'm gonna kind of work on a porch. So right here I'm gonna go and select extrude again. I'm gonna not show that. I'm just gonna extrude this. I'm gonna go back to edit. And I'm gonna actually take this shape and I'm gonna move it back a bit. So when we play, we can... Okay, so with that, now we want to, I'm going to make a stair here. If I can. I might have to... So with these stairs, I have some settings right here that I can manipulate. And kind of what I want to do is, first I want to adjust the height down. I don't want these to be too big. And then I want to... I think that's fine. I want to decrease the number of stairs. So I'm going to do that. I am going to turn up the height a bit. And again, we can always kind of adjust this because it might be a bit much. I'm gonna go to... oh shoot, no. I'm just gonna go to 7. I'm gonna turn down the height. And I'm gonna turn down the length. Just want to kind of match it up a bit. And you can fine tune these, you can make it okay, so I don't think 42 would probably be good. So if we play, you can see that, I mean, it's kind of like we're a kid. I'm just trying to play around with, like, man, but I feel like that may be a bit small. Ew. Excuse me. Because I'm trying to keep in mind that we're a kid, so everything needs to be bigger to kind of fit adults. I mean, right now these stairs kind of make me feel like I'm an adult right now. So what we're gonna do is we're going to actually go back in here. Okay, and we just select those. And instead of 7, I'm gonna have 3. I'm gonna move these all the way back. And I'm gonna move these stairs higher. I'm gonna move these up. Yeah, so I think that looks pretty good. And what I'm actually gonna do now is I'm going to go into here. And I'm gonna move this up actually. Make this higher. I think that's too high. That still may be too high. I might move that over 1. Yeah, so I think those are pretty good. You might want to make these a bit more longer, so I'm going to go with, I think it's the width. I'm just going to go with the width and make those much bigger. And I'm going to actually move this side back. I want to make this porch feel bigger than it needs to be. Again, I'm going to try to make things a bit bigger. And all of this is going to be easier. You know, if someone were to go in and just model a house and make it just normal, then you could just bring a model like that into this game, and you could just scale it up to make it feel like you're more of a kid. And what I actually might do is, you know, I'm pretty good at you know, just 3D modeling low poly stuff, so I might actually go and in my free time outside of these videos, I might go in and actually model a few houses and just put them in here and kind of have that be kind of something to use, especially as a reference as far as like size wise. So I hope that maybe by tomorrow or you know, Tuesday I could have that kind of ready for this. I think that would be really helpful. So if we go back to kind of our house example, this is just kind of the starting porch area. So we could actually select these. And we move these vertices back. Excuse me. Ugh. Again, we could extrude these. Just extrude these kind of for the purposes of just making this house. And of course, if we do that, the only thing I don't like about this is you can't like select multiple like faces or anything to move. If there is a way to do that, I'd like to know, because this is kind of annoying where if I move one piece of this wall, I have to kind of go in and do everything. And yeah, I don't know. It kind of makes making manipulating shapes kind of annoying a bit, but yeah, we kind of get a sense of how big a house could be. And you know, this is a really big porch. So, you know, maybe we want to have a mailbox or something, so we could really scale down something like this. Maybe we could scale a little bit more down, I guess. We could have it kind of stick in the ground a bit. Make it make it higher. Again, we don't want it to be easily accessible to the player. We just want to get the sense that the player is a little bit more smaller than everything else. So what we could do is we could extrude this. And go back to edit, and then we can actually go in here, and we can actually use this and do that. And then if we want to, we can also move it down again as well if we wish. Just a little bit. And we can extrude it. And you got a mailbox. And you can kind of check the height of it. I mean, it looks like a good adult-sized mailbox, but again, you know, since we're a kid, we might not be able to jump up there and do anything. So, I mean, it's a challenge where if we had like an opening here, kind of what I showed you originally, where maybe there's a subtractive box. You could go into here, really make it much smaller. So you could really, if I can select it, I could really make it small and just make a mailbox. And then you could go in here and make a little flag. Just make it look kind of interesting. Again, you can go in here and you can make it skinny. Again, make this however how you want. I think usually those little flag things are even more skinnier than that. There you go, you got like a mailbox. So I have this porch area. If we go back to that image, you know, there's like a second floor and then there's like an awning or something. So what we could do is we could just select this, hit extrude a little bit out like that. We could hit this, we could hit extrude and we can extrude out. And then we can edit this, make it a little more like a porch area. And we can extrude this. Make it much taller. And then and it has like the it has like the roof and everything, right? Where you can slant it. I am gonna size this out a bit. It might actually not be a bad idea just to select this edge if I can. So yeah, I mean, this is just kind of blocking stuff out. You know, you can also select this face, extrude it, and make it go all the way up. I don't think you can actually. It's really weird. Yeah, sometimes this is really not very intuitive. Because, yeah, I can't even go all the way up. Like, what the heck? What if I extrude up again? I can't even do that. So instead of doing all that, can I just extrude this? Probably. No, I can't? What is going on? Why can I not? Like, I can only go so far out. That's stupid. Oh well. But we kind of got a good sense of scale here. And again, I feel like this is something where it's easy enough to probably go through Blender and just make a house through there. And then probably going through and just placing the house and scaling it up would probably be the best way to go. But this is kind of a good start with this. You know, I have kind of the bucket and the candy, and I think that's really cool. And we're kind of just getting a sense of, you know, the size of the level, and hopefully what we could do is later we can really go and really just place blocks and really just play around with the size, and you know, we could have just really big houses. Because once we make a like a normal house, what we could do is we could just place boxes and just you know, have these exist somewhere and just lay out like the general level. And you know, we could do a lot of stuff, especially since the theme is you know, Halloween themed. I was thinking of maybe there's like a haunted house somewhere that you could actually go inside. So that's kind of the thing that I think we need to keep in mind, is not maybe not every sort of structure in this map will be closed off. I think we definitely will want to have something, you know, either like a huge haunted house in the middle of the map. Maybe there's a park that can be in the very middle, and I kind of like that idea. But maybe there's like a park with a playground set, and maybe there's like just a haunted house that you can kind of go into, and maybe there's like multiple floors. So I think what we could do is play around with that as like the center, and we can kind of go from there. So I think in the next few videos, you know, I'm gonna probably do some work in Blender and just get a few things going. And not only that, but I might look through Unreal's asset store and just see if there might be any sort of models out there or something. But yeah, I think I just wanted to create a small beginning video for this. And excuse me, my nose is just like, ugh. And that's kind of why I think I'm trying to get this done very soon, because I'm just kind of having the sniffles, and I don't know. But yeah, you know, I think this is a great start. I really like what's going on here. I just think that this is kind of fun. So yeah, I think with that, you know, we'll return back to this tomorrow, and I'm gonna make sure I save this. It's always good to save your things, and also probably to create backups. Kind of one thing I learned from the last project when things went wrong is, oh crap, I didn't have any way to like a backup to go to. So yeah, I think with this though, we're gonna call this video good, and then tomorrow we'll try to go back into here and really build out, you know, kind of a central part of the map, and kind of get that going, and see how that goes. And hopefully yeah, we can go and really build this thing out, and I can kind of show you guys how to make a simple but you know, somewhat interesting multiplayer map, and see how those types of levels get made. So I hope you guys like the video. If you want to keep, you know, updated on these videos, you know, feel free to subscribe and comment down below. And you know, if you have any feedback or have any questions, then I'll try to work on stuff I need to improve on, and also help out with any questions anyone might have. So I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my video, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. So have a good one, and have an amazing day.